Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina Ramsay, the host of the Tina Ramsay Show and podcast, powered by CTR Media Network. And today, yes, we have another amazing guest. For everyone who don't know, I don't know how you don't know, but everyone pretty much knows that I am a homeschooling mother of two, and homeschooling is my first love. Education is my first love. Not that I don't love podcasting, but I started with education first. And so today's guest is all about the things that I love. And she has a unique network that she has built and that she has grown and that she has helped so many people be able to, I like to say, navigate homeschooling in such an amazing way. I had the opportunity to meet her, and I think she's just absolutely amazing. So who am I speaking about? I'm speaking about Andrea Hall. She is a homeschooling mother. She is at the heart of the Ep254 Homeschooling Network. She is the guiding light for homeschooling families seeking clarity and confidence. So if you're on the fence about homeschooling your children and you're like, I need some sound advice, well, today's guest is just for you. Let's bring on Andrea Hall. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Dr. Tina. I am happy to be here.
Oh, I am so happy to have you here as well, because I had the amazing opportunity to not only meet you, but Nicole at the Flourish, the Black Flourish Conference in Georgia, and had the opportunity to be able to interview. And so, I mean, let me tell you guys, these ladies, I have went to many homeschooling conferences and events in my time. You know, I'm sounding like an old woman in my time. But honey, the event that they put together was so amazing. It was an experience. I mean, you walked in, you felt special, you felt loved. It was so many details and breakfast and thoughts, and the entire family were there. And you know, it's hard to get your husbands and your significant other to come to you. And it was men there, children. Yes. I mean, how in the world did you think about making sure that you have daycare there, you have breakfast nooks, you have food, you have the area that we sat at, you know, for the event was like a wedding reception. I mean, yes. That from top to bottom. So what made you decide to make it so luxurious and elegant for a homeschooling conference?
Well, I wish I could take all the credit for all of that. I wish I could, but I can't. We have a great team of ladies that work together that really helped to pull this together. Rosalind, who is our event extraordinaire, she's the one that had the vision to make all of those beautiful things come to life with the reception area, the breakfast nook, all of those little details. She is amazing with that. Nicole is great with the logistics, with all that stuff. And I'm the tech girl. So I'm the one that did the little floating things, helped to make that come together. And Rosalind and I kind of created those things together, and I handle all the other stuff tech-wise. But I wish I could take credit for all the artistic stuff that went into this event and everything that happened. But it was amazing. And the way we work together, it really is God. The way he put us all together, all of our strengths and our weaknesses, and how we just mesh well with each other, how well we work together. It's just really been a blessing. And since I'm still talking about the conference, if you were not able to make it, on our website, you can go ahead and get some of those video clips. Actually, you can actually get the conference on our website. And that's one of the links I did not drop to you, but I'm going to do it now. But yeah, so it was a really great experience. Georgia Black Home Educators mn.co. I know it's long. It is long, but there you go. Make sure I drop that link properly.
Okay, thank you so much. So you guys, this is the link. I'm going to pop it up on the screen for those of you watching. For those of you that are listening in, that is Georgia Black Home Educators, not homeschool. Georgia Black Home Educators with an S.mn.co. So there you will be able to see the conference in entirety. And let me tell you, the experts, the individuals that was on the main sanctuary stage they even had another area where it was different rooms that educational conferences was going on. I mean, literally, I have never seen anything like that in my life. And even though this is my last year for my baby, my baby will be graduating. I'm so happy into the workforce. However, your girl still gonna be all up in there because I am still a homeschooling advocate. I still coach. I still do all the things homeschooling. I'm just gonna do it in a different way now because I have this time. I have time.
We can put you to work now. We can put you to work.
I have time. Okay, I have time. So I'm still like looking forward to the next conference because it was just one of the best experiences that I have had personally, homeschooling over a decade or more at a homeschooling conference. Because mostly homeschooling conferences, it's like you just coming in from the soccer game closed. You're kind of running in, running out. It's real busy. It's
not relaxing.
No, it's not. It's very like just like little buzzy bees. But we're used to it because that's the way our conferences traditionally had. So I never envisioned anything that was so calming, so nourishing, it was like going to the spa.
Yeah.
It was like really rejuvenating, and you got all this information, all this knowledge, and you met so many people.
Yes.
You saw so many individuals that look just like you, that's homeschooling and veterans. And then you had such a buffet, I would say, from the food all the way down. And I'm saying buffet of vendors. You had every type of vendor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Nicole I'll give Nicole credit for all of that because she was really good about getting different types of vendors, a variety, even people of color, making sure she was very intentional about making sure we had that displayed. And then people who just wanted to support us. We're not about just the Black family, even though that's our main goal, that's our passion, that's, how we identify as. But it was nice to see people come alongside us to support us because some people are like, well, since I'm not this color, I guess I can't come. No, we're not trying to segregate ourselves, but we're just trying to highlight and emphasize our melanated families because it's not always done. All the other conferences are majority white. So why can't we have something that we can help elevate our communities? So we're really happy about that. And we're really happy about the people who came out to support us.
It was simply amazing. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to flip it a little bit. We're going to talk more about Andrea. What is it that she do besides the Black educators, the Georgia Black Educator Conference? What else does she do? Because that's not the only thing that she do. It's basically other women that came together, herself and two other women, and all the volunteers that bring on this beautiful Flourish conference. But each one of these amazing ladies do something else as well. So you may not even know that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what it is that she do, how she helps in the homeschooling arena, and just dig a little bit deeper. We're going to have this commercial break and we'll be back in a moment with Andrea. We're talking all things homeschooling today on the Tina Ramsay Show. We'll be back in a moment.
Anybody that knows Tina, she's all about visibility. She's all about connection, and she's all about helping people create a source of income through monetization. And so, again, Tina is just really good at what she does. If you've not connected with Tina, if you've seen her show or heard her podcast and you're thinking about connecting with her, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. As a result of my connections with Tina, she has helped me with recruitment of speakers for my upcoming event. She's also helped me to recruit several authors for a few of the book projects that I have had the opportunity to produce in this past year. And in all, Tina's just a really great person, that she's genuine in helping entrepreneurs in reaching their goals. So again, if you have not connected with Tina, be sure that you do. the Tina Ramsay Show is definitely a great venue for you to connect with other entrepreneurs, to connect with other individuals that are going to be interested in your service or your project. This is Tiffany Bell. Again, you are watching and listening to the Tina Ramsay Show, and I look forward to being able to connect with you.
And just like that, we are back. And I come along with a friend whom you might ask. We have Adrian in the building. We are talking all things homeschool. So right now, let's jump right in to you and what brought you to homeschool, because I see that you have a Bachelor's of Science in mathematics, and you would think that you would have your children in traditional school with all these degrees you have, child. And then you go and be radical, like they used to call us when we decided homeschooling. You said, I'm a homeschool. So what made you decide to homeschool?
So I did not. It started in college, really, because like you said, I'm in college. I'm going to become a math teacher. Who would have thought I was going to homeschool? I did not. I did not think I was going to homeschool. But I was in my education class, one of those, required education courses that you have to take. And they're talking about early childhood, all the different developmental stages of childhood education, blah, blah, blah. And I remember them in class. My professor said, the first 7 years of a child's life are the most pivotal and the most important years in a child, right? And I was like, oh, really? And he really went into deep detail about it. And I was like, huh. So I was like, well, why would I send them to school? Because if that's the most pivotal time of a child's life, then I guess I'm a control freak. I want to control those first 7 years of my child's life. So that's kind of like how I came about it. So I was like, I want to control the first 7 years of my child's life. So I said I was only going to homeschool for the first 7 years, and then I was going to put them in school, and then that would be that. Right. So I kind of had that plan in college. So I really didn't plan to homeschool. My oldest now is 16 in the 10th grade going into 11th. And I didn't think I was going to homeschool this long. But fast forward, I'm in the classroom teaching my kids. I'm getting to see I teach high school, so high school mathematics. So I'm in the classroom seeing what my students are going through, seeing what's happening in the public school system. I'm like, yeah, no. I don't think I want my child in this. And then when it came time for me to actually start having my own kids, I took a step back. I started teaching online and started looking for other avenues of doing things. And I was like, I want to start homeschooling. And I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And once I got started in it and kept seeing everything that was happening around me in the world, I was like, I'm going to keep going. So 7 years went to 8 years, went to 9, 10, now 16. And I have three kids all together. So they're all homeschooled. So that's kind of like how I fell into this homeschool route. I didn't really I kind of wanted to, but I didn't plan to do it that long. I didn't expect to keep doing it.
Like for me, I'm just like, I was in the public school as a behavior specialist. So I would work alongside the caseworkers and the administrator, the teachers, to figure out why we're having this breakdown of communication and they're acting out from a behavior standpoint, right? And I am a product of public school. So I'm like, that was not on my radar, but then some things happened in my life. My child was forever being sick, what they call medical sensitive. And then he started getting bullied heavily because he has autism and he also has severe dyslexia. So it kind of made him a target for certain stuff. And it just, I had to. It wasn't like I compare my journey to being thrust into it.
Gotcha.
Because it wasn't on the plan. It wasn't on the radar. I never even saw homeschooling before in my life, never even thought about homeschooling. My whole life was centered around education, but from a public school perspective. And so even when this idea came about, I was like, oh, I don't know.
Not me.
I don't know about that, like homeschool. And then once I started, it was like my eyes was open. The blinders that I didn't know was on my eyes was off.
Yeah.
And it was a whole new world, literally, even down with how I learned. I learned a lot about myself in
Oh,
our
yeah.
journey of homeschooling and figuring out how my child learns best or children learn best. I figured
Mhm.
out a lot of stuff about myself. So homeschooling really helped us, and more than just homeschooling, it helped me
Right.
understand things about myself. So did you find that to be true with you? Did you
Oh,
find
yeah.
out things that you never thought about, since you've been homeschooling?
Oh, yeah. You get to learn yourself. You get to learn more about your patience. Like, do you got the patience to do it? You learn about your children. I got to learn my kids. Well, I am learning more about my kids through homeschooling because I don't think I would have learned that much about them if I had sent them to regular school. So definitely learning all of that about myself. Homeschooling has definitely been a journey. When you were talking, it made me think about, the Pringles, that slogan, once you start, you can't stop. So it's like once I got started on homeschooling, I couldn't stop either. It was like it's just a whole new world, so many opportunities, so many things you can do with your children that you can't do if they're in public school. So many opportunities you can expose them to. So it's been an amazing experience, and we are still in the midst of the journey. And the flexibility of being able to homeschool and do everything else is also amazing. So
I know for me, and just meeting more homeschooling parents, and I know right now you guys, y'all hearing everything, and you like, it's all peaches and cream. I'm gonna flip it a little bit.
uh-oh.
There, there will come moments, because it's life. Like people say, life be life, and just like if your child was in public school, it's gonna have some ups and downs. Okay, same thing with homeschooling, but we're just saying you have more control, you have more
Yes.
flexibility, and you have more, I would say, ways to explore within whatever the laws for your state, because every state is a little bit different based upon
Mhm.
what you're required to do, quote unquote,
Yeah.
as a homeschooling parent. So this is generalized based on a general thing, but you do have to go and check for your state to see what is the requirements in order for you to homeschool legally. I'm not telling you to go, okay, look at this interview and say, oh, I've been thinking about homeschool. This is my confirmation. I'm not sending them back to school. Honey, no. You have to follow the law.
Yes, do the right thing. And actually, as you're talking about that, getting started, we actually started, we have a free email in our homeschool network. So Epic Homeschool Network, we decided since we were getting so many questions about how do you get started with homeschooling, where do I begin? We started a free 10-day challenge, and I'll send that to Dr. Tina, the link. But if you go to our website, epichsn.com, you can go there and you'll find this free 10-day homeschool challenge. It's an email that's sent to you every day, and it'll actually walk you through the steps on how to get started with homeschooling, even down to, as we were talking about the laws, we'll send you a link directly to one of the main websites where you can get the information and kind of go to your state's website to find out more about homeschooling. I'm in Georgia, so if you need anything related to Georgia, I can help you with that, even down to the Dexter-Mosley Act, which my child took advantage of. So, yeah, so knowing that that's one of the biggest challenges, like how do I even begin? We decided to start that 10-day free email homeschool challenge so you can kind of get started. So if you're interested in getting started and you're like, okay, what do I do? This can help you.
I love it, because at the end of the day, to have those little micro steps, because if you have too many steps at one time, it can become overwhelming, especially when I would say when you're doing the shift.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful transition once you reach the part to get to actually you can just focus on schooling, or I would say start experiencing education and
Yeah.
developing the love for it.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's steps. Okay, so just like you went through the process to sign your kids in, doing everything to get them in as paperwork, in most cases, if not all, it's some sort of paperwork that you have to sign them out, withdraw them out in order for you to start your homeschooling journey legally. I do not want you to go and say, "Oh, I'm going to stop sending my child to school," honey
Hmm.
or man. Do not do that, because you can get in the lines of truancy, which
Yeah.
basically means that you're being neglectful if you miss past 10 days of a school calendar year, and then some unfavorable things can start happening based upon the decision that you made. So you have to put them on notice in writing. Never do it just by word of mouth, just so that you can have it from a legal standpoint. But go ahead and get that 10-day challenge from Epic. Well, I want to say the name because they probably don't know what that abbreviation is, the Epic Homeschooling Network. So what made you decide to, because it's so many different homeschooling moms out there, but every homeschooling mom don't decide to build a community, start a network. So what made you decide with 3 years that you would say, okay, so now I'm going to build a network and be responsible?
So look, no one sets out with that mission in mind. That was not what was in the back of my head. So actually, so when I started homeschooling, my husband's biggest question was, well, what about socialization? Like, how are you going to socialize? That's everyone's biggest question. What are you going to do? How are they going to hang out? So that's when I actually started looking for a homeschool group to join. So I actually just went out there looking for a group. So I found a group. I went on their website and I signed up for it and I didn't hear anything. I don't know what it was. I don't know what they were looking for. I don't know if it was just a closed group and they were like, we're not accepting any outsiders or what have you, but I applied and nothing happened. So I was like, well, fine then. I'll just go ahead and start my own. So I went to the library and I went to my church. So I actually tried to do it in 2 different ways. I went to my church and I put something in a church bulletin, put something in the church bulletin. And I said, all right, let's go ahead and let's meet up, right? So I put something in the church bulletin, nothing, I had a meeting at my mother-in-law's house. She let me use her house. But when I went there, everybody wanted me to teach their children. They didn't want to like get together and, homeschool together. So I was like, okay, well, that's not what I was quite looking for. Then I went to my library and I talked to the children's librarian and she was like, yeah, just give me a flyer and I'll be happy to share it with you. So I went ahead and I created a flyer and I gave it to her and she put it up there. And then we had our first meeting in 2012 at the library and we were just hanging out. So we called ourselves the South Cobb Homeschoolers. So that's where we started off at. We were just like the South Cobb Homeschoolers when we started out. And we were just meeting at the library, just hanging out. After doing that for some years, you're like, I would really like to offer some resources because I didn't see many people of color homeschooling. And I was like, I think it would be great to have resources for families of color and really just all families. So that's when we decided to become an official nonprofit and started Epic Homeschool Network in 2016 to help families in need. And also, so we offer scholarships in addition to our field trips, classes, and clubs. So that's kind of how we fell into Epic. I didn't quite set out to start it as such something so big, to grow something so big. I actually just wanted to join a homeschool group. And since I couldn't find one, I decided to start one.
That's called you are a solution. You are a solution. You saw a problem. You said, okay, I need to create a solution. And also you had your husband in the background talking about, what about that socialization? That's social.
Yes.
We have to love them, huh? We have to love them because they'll keep us on our toes. Because my husband was like, okay, we got to find something for them to do. I'm like, okay, but we live in this small town and homeschooling is not like on the top 10 list. It's like somewhere in a bottom 1,000. So what are we going to do? So the fact that you decided, well, it pretty much sounds like it formed itself over time because you just was doing meetups. And that's pretty much how it did with me, meetups. And then all of a sudden you be like, okay, mine actually started with a YouTube channel. Okay. So yeah, I started with a YouTube channel and then eventually it grew and then the group and then the magazines and then the TV, the network and stuff like that. But it
wasn't in your head at first, right?
No, I was just trying to, my friend, I always tell people to have a homeschool buddy.
Yeah.
And so my friend was like, you're really good at this stuff. And what I like, you can explain it real simple and you make it fun. You should do a YouTube channel. I'm like, girl, please. And I kind of did it just to say, I told you so. Like nobody's not gonna watch it. Well, joke was on me. They was watching it. They was reaching out. So it's kind of how we kind of like did the same thing. It wasn't like we set out to do it, but once we was in it, we just said, oh, well.
Yeah. And you have to do everything to excellence, right? If you're going to do it right. So
Yes. And so what made you, because when people come up with business names or nonprofit names, I'm always curious about what made them decide to call their whatever, if it's a nonprofit, if it's a business for profit, what made you decide to call your network Epic?
all right. So again, I guess I'm throwing all the blame on everyone else. I wish I could say I came up with that name too. But so when we decided that we're going to change from South Cobb Homeschoolers and we're going to form an official nonprofit, I was like, well, are we going to keep the name South Cobb Homeschoolers? And we were like, well, no, because it's not just for South Cobb homeschoolers. It's not just for people in the South Cobb area. We want it to be bigger. So, bigger, epic. So we want it to be bigger. So that was one of the things. And then so we formed an advisory. I formed an advisory council. So, just got another group of people together and said, okay, we're going to go ahead and create this thing. We're going to get this thing going. How are we going to do this? What do we want to call it? So we were exploring names, like Metro Atlanta Association or something like that. We just came up with all these different names. And everyone's like, how about just Epic? We want it to be bigger than what it is now. How about just Epic Homeschool Network? And we're like, okay. So let's go with Epic. And we're like, okay, so what does Epic mean? Is it an acronym? Is it just the name Epic? And so we came up with the first acronym we had for it was experience, participate, inspire, connect, because that's what we wanted people to do when they came. We wanted them to have an experience. We wanted them to participate. We wanted to inspire. We wanted to connect. That's kind of how we started. And then now, though, we've changed it to empowering, because that's what we do with our workshops, our online workshops. Empowering, parent-led, because that's what homeschooling is parent-led. Inspire, we still want to inspire. And the C is collaborative community. Collaborative community. It's new. We just changed it. So now it's like a pop quiz.
Oh, no. You don't got to make it a pop quiz. You can come back to it, or they can look at it when they go to the website.
Community driven. I got it. Community driven, because we want it to be for the community. So we really want our community to kind of drive what we offer, our classes, our clubs. We want our parents involved in offering that. So we really want it to be like a network.
So that's the thing. As you expand and grow, your mission and your name change. Your acronyms can change as you build upon, because what season you in now may not necessarily be the season you in after you reach another level of growth. So it's beautiful seeing how you guys went from one name to Epic, but then Epic actually grew to something else because of the growth of what you guys have. So one thing that is a struggle for homeschooling parents, we spoke about, one is actually how to get started. And so you guys solved that problem with that 10-day challenge. But another problem that a lot of homeschooling parents deal with is, where do I find curriculum? If they want to have a side hustle to be able to make some cash, to be able to build or be able to buy curriculum, take the kids on field trips, how do I do that when it's only one income in the home? Because most of the time it's one income, because somebody has to sacrifice and be home. And then it's the third one. I don't want to teach math. I need to. So what? So I bring that up because I read that somebody have a Bachelor of Science in mathematics. So, do you provide tutoring?
Man, that's
worksheets, curriculum?
I do provide worksheets and curriculum. So, okay. So like you talk about being a side hustle, like every homeschool mom kind of is like, okay, what are we going to do about money? So I kind of had that same mentality. I'm like, okay, I'm going to homeschool, but I can't be like just homeschool. I've got to do homeschool and something else. So at first, so I'm homeschooling and I'm teaching online. So that's actually what I do now. I homeschool and I teach math online. So that's kind of like what I do for a living. But then I was like, okay, I need to make money. So that's when I started my Teachers Pay Teachers store. that's called the Study Hall EDU. So I create math worksheets on there. So I have algebra worksheets on there, like vocabulary worksheets, algebra, Jeopardy games. I also have Hidden Figures, which is one of my favorite books. I created a reading guide to go along with Hidden Figures. And I put them all on my Teachers Pay Teacher store. So I'm growing that. That's actually like one of my biggest passions right now, is growing that Teachers Pay Teacher store. So that's what I do. So if you're looking for a side hustle, I highly recommend Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm also a teacher on outschool.com. So if you go to outschool.com, especially in the summertime, you can catch one of my classes on study skills. I think one of the biggest things I notice with students who are struggling academically, it's not because they're not smart, it's because they don't know how to study. They don't know how to organize their life, their notes, just everything. They just don't think about it, or they're not really taught. Like, we don't teach it intentionally. So this summer I have a Becoming a Master Student summer camp. It's 1 week. So I do that on OutSchool. So that's what I do on OutSchool. You can request for me to tutor on OutSchool as well. However, I'm going to just, right now, my schedule is like pretty much shut on lock. It's like on lock. So I don't have any availability right now for math tutoring, but I do have that course. If you're able to squeeze in if you look it up and you're able to squeeze in a one-on-one tutoring and lock me in, I'm available. But right now, my schedule's like on lock. But that's definitely an opportunity that you guys can catch me on OutSchool there.
Do you provide any homeschooling consulting or coaching on the side, or it's just solely math tutoring, OutSchool, and curriculum?
So through Epic Homeschool Network, so Epic is a nonprofit. So through Epic Homeschool Network, you can actually book a session for homeschool coaching, and all that money goes towards Epic and continue to support that mission. So if you're interested in homeschool coaching and getting started, you can book an advising session, a coaching session on epichsn.com, and I'll be happy to work with you. And we can talk about anything.
See, look at here. We have Epic. We have which is the nonprofit that can help you with the consultations, also direct you to the laws with the 10 challenges, or I would say, the 10-day challenge that you can sign up for. You also have the Georgia Black Home Educators.mn.co, where you can go to see the conference that you may have missed in January, and also get any other further information on how you can participate at upcoming events or support. Right. And then we also have another, just in case you want to know more about Andrea, you can actually go to her website at Andrea, the letter J, A, Hall. So let me show you guys on the screen to learn more, because do you, like, say, for example, someone having a homeschooling conference, whether virtual or in person, can they hire you to come speak?
Definitely. So
Okay.
that's probably one of my favorite things to do. I've been a featured speaker at the Southeast Homeschool Expo here in Georgia. In July, I'm normally the featured speaker. This year I won't be because I'm going to another event, but I'm normally this featured speaker at the Southeast Homeschool Expo. I'm looking at going to North Carolina. I've been in North Carolina speaking there too. I've been to Texas at the South by Southwest EDU. I've been one of the speakers there. And of course, Flourish, the Black Family Homeschool Conference. So if you are looking for a homeschool speaker for your in-person or virtual events, I am definitely available for that.
Love it. And I love speaking as well, because it's just something about the heartbeat of the homeschooling community. And within our community is so many different variations. Our foundations is all education and homeschooling, but we have different ways to reach the goal. And you will find you're uniquely you within the midst of meeting different people, meaning you can get inspiration from Andrea. You can hear something she says. That don't mean you have to carbon copy every single thing that she does, or you hear me speak somewhere and you have to say, I'm going to do it exactly the way. No, you go to these conferences to be inspired, to pull bits and pieces and make your unique journey. Yes. Because when you start trying to follow someone down to the letter, that's when the problems come.
That's true.
That's
That's
where the
true.
problem. I had to learn the hard way. Years ago when I was decades ago when I was a newbie. I'm talking like years ago. That was decades ago. Okay, when I was a newbie, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it just like them," and it never worked.
No, it
You'll start and you do okay for a minute, and all of a sudden it's just start falling apart. And then I had to realize you have to do it your way.
Yes.
You use what we do as inspiration to find your own way and create your own unique homeschooling journey. And when you do it that way, then your homeschool will be successful.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong way in regards to this, but in what I've learned, don't ever copy somebody because their situation is not your situation.
That's right. And that's the beauty of homeschooling, that you can do it whichever way you want to. So like if you want to do this, you can make it happen, whether you're working full time, whether you're a nurse and you only have this amount of days to do it, whether you can do it in the evening and not in the morning. You can do homeschooling however you want, whenever you want. And I'm on a big camera now, so now I have to talk more.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that camera time, girl. So, but she's right. It's not just one way to homeschool. I remember when I first started homeschooling, I felt like I had to homeschool Monday through Friday. It was just a rule. I had to do Monday through Friday. But let me tell you something. Who say you have to homeschool Monday through Friday? You can homeschool on the weekends. You can homeschool on Sunday. You can homeschool in the evenings. You don't have to homeschool just from 9 to 3 or from 7 to 5. Like you can be flexible and still get everything done and homeschool. Flexibility is one of the best tips that I can give any homeschooling parent. Learn to be flexible and adapt to your current situation.
Yeah.
Especially when you have children, more than one age,
yes.
more than one learning style. You have to get creative.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. What works for one might not necessarily work for the other. So you definitely have to be creative and work with them and work with the flow.
So with that being said, is there anything else that you have that's coming up or an event or whatever that you want them? honey, boom. Let me give you this.
All right. So there's so much coming up. If you are interested in learning more about Epic Homeschool Network, you could go to our website. We have our annual field day coming up on May 24th, Friday, May 24th in Georgia. So if you're in Georgia, go ahead and check us out for our field day. We also have, if you are the Georgia Black Home Educators, one of our partners, they're doing their field day tomorrow. So it's not too late. You can join up tomorrow. And you can find out more about that at our Georgia Black Home Educators.mn.no that we were talking about earlier. So we have field days coming up. Yep, that's field day. So that's one field day. And then you can go to epichsn.com to go to the other field day. And then we have our annual award ceremony that's going to be on June 6th, June 4th, June 6th, June 6th, June 4th, June. It's going to be in June. We're going to have a nice ceremony and then a dinner afterwards. So it's open to everyone. So you can go ahead and sign up and join us there. So those are some of the big events we have coming up. If you're looking for some learning opportunities in the summertime, definitely follow us because we're going to have like an SAT coming up, SAT prep coming up. And then I mentioned the Becoming a Master's Student course that I offer. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just sign up for our email list and you'll get all of those goodies straight to your inbox. So that's what's coming up. Flourish will happen again in January 2025. Mark your calendars. Okay. Join the network again so you can be up to date on it. And then also join and you can get access to the videos. There's a small monetary donation fee, and that helps to support the ministry and help us to keep providing what we provide for you. So, yeah.
All right. So with the ceremony, is that a graduation or just for the parents and children to meet up?
It's a graduation. So it's a graduation, but we call it a graduation and award ceremony because, our 5th grade graduates, our kindergarten graduates, 8th high school graduates. So we will highlight our graduates, but it's also an opportunity for anyone who's homeschooling to come and just celebrate their kids.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And in regards to, we can talk after. Anywho, you guys, this is Andrea Hall, and she is from Epic. Let me make sure I say it right. Epic Homeschool Network, and she also helps with. She is one part of the amazing team of the Georgia Black Home Educators .mn.co that you can check them out. And if you're looking for help in homeschooling, I'm all about de-stressing the homeschooling process. If you go and check them out. Also, you can go check out if you need worksheets and you need some classes, because you heard that she teach classes on math on OutSchool, and she also have worksheets. One of the main stresses that I hear when I have all these consultations with all of you is math. Okay, that is something that I feel that is universal, regardless of your background, your education as a parent, or your color. It doesn't matter. It is a universal. Every consultation I have ever had, their biggest fear: how am I going to teach math?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially the higher level maths. Okay.
Yes.
So listen, you don't have to teach that math anymore. You can delegate. And go on over and let her do it, because she got that bachelor's in mathematics. Let her go ahead and do that, because she love it, honey. So I keep telling parents, delegate it. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be no Wonder
you
Man
don't.
or Wonder Woman. Delegate.
I was quick to delegate that English.
Yes. So make sure to go check out all these amazing resources. I'm going to pop them up on the screen one more time. And you can, if you're looking for a speaker, you can go and check her out on her page as well. And make sure to, I highly, highly recommend the Georgia, the Flourish Black Homeschooling Conference. It'll be an experience. You will learn, you will grow, you will thrive. It's an experience that I will never forget, because it was just jaw-dropping when I walked in. I was like, this can't be the right place. Somebody getting married? Like, what's going on? It was just that amazing. Okay, so, and it wasn't expensive. It was inexpensive for all the things, and we was even able to get computers, honey. Like, I'm just trying to tell you, go to the event. So you'll be hearing me talking about it next January. You'll hear me talking about around by December.
That's right. November,
we'll be rapping. We'll be cranking it out. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching the Tina Ramsay Show and podcast today. Make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Make sure to check out today's amazing featured guest. And as always, I want to tell you this. If no one told you this today, that you are worthy, that you are valued, that you are loved, I want you to know that I love you and I appreciate you. And what do I want you to do until next time? I want you to do what? I want you to keep smiling. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Tina Ramsay Show. Thank you so much. And remember, it's time for you to come share, shine, and grow. What? On the Tina Ramsay Show. See you guys next week. Bye.
Well, you have any closing remarks before we head out?
Y'all, please support the movement of CTR Media Network. I'm telling you, being a part of this amazing media family, I can't go wrong, right? They have the support. They support us in all that we do. When we have questions, they take the time out to advise and mentor. So definitely check out the different plethora of shows that are on the network. I promise you, and I'm not saying this because I'm part of the family, but I promise you, you will be uplifted, inspired, educated, motivated, all the good stuff that we all need to carry ourselves out through the day. So definitely go check it out, y'all.
Awesome. I definitely appreciate you.